Smosh the Movie is the new Smosh movie directed and written by Ian and Anthony. What's that? Oh, it's not directed by Ian and Anthony? Well, they were involved in it, right? They produced it? Really? They didn't write or direct this thing? You'd think since it's the Smosh movie that Smosh would be heavily involved, right? I mean, that would just make sense. No, this movie is written by two random guys and one guy who was in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. What this movie's about is Anthony and Ian are invited to go to their high school reunion, but they find this very embarrassing video online of Anthony doing a backflip and then a microphone getting shoved up his butthole. And Anthony needs to find a way to take this video down because he wants to reunite with his former crush, and with this video up, he's afraid his crush is going to remember what a loser he was. So he and Anthony travel all the way to the YouTube headquarters and go through a portal into YouTube. Okay. Now, for this movie, I had no anticipation for it at all. I did originally in 2014 when they actually kind of put some more oomph in their step in quality-wise, but then 2015 rolled along and the quality went down again. And when they released the trailer, I was just not impressed by it at all. And going into this movie, just no hype at all. It was late, like around midnight. I had downloaded it because I just saw Pixels 2, so there was that bad taste in my mouth. So how was Smosh the Movie? Oh boy. It's like Pixels and now Smosh the Movie. What a day. Pixels and Smosh the same day. Well, I watched Smosh after midnight, so it's the second day, but yeah, it wasn't a good movie. Now, I actually made a vow before seeing this movie. I was telling this to some of my friends that if the Smosh movie sucks, then I'm just going to unsubscribe from Smosh altogether because their videos suck and then this movie sucks. So how can I really keep watching Smosh if they, suck? But this movie isn't even directed or written by them, it's just produced by them, and I know they had some involvement with it, but it wasn't directly written or directed by it, so technically it's not even their movie, it's someone else's movie thinking of what Smosh would be. So how can I unsubscribe if they haven't even made a full Smosh movie because they didn't direct it or write it? As soon as they direct or write a movie with them in it, then I'll make a judgment. But there are some things to this movie that works. For example, Ian and Anthony's chemistry. It will always work. In their videos that sucked, you could still feel their chemistry because they've been friends for a very long time. In this movie, you still feel it. In fact, the jokes that they tell, the majority of them, really do work. I was laughing the most at them, and there was one moment near the end that just had me gut-busting laughing because of something Ian said. And there are actually some moments where some of the supporting characters actually do make a funny joke, like Harley Morenstein. Like Harley Morenstein playing the mailman in this movie, he had a pretty funny bit. And the whole plot of this movie actually does sound like it could work for a Smosh movie. It sounds ridiculous, and I loved it, but this whole movie just really just falls flat on its face of what they're trying to do. I'm not angry at all, I'm just really disappointed because I know Ian and Anthony can do a lot better. Like, they've done great videos in the past. There are some videos that I still cry laughing at, but their newer stuff and this movie just really falls flat. There's this guy named Steve YouTube. He owns YouTube and he lets them in this portal. He is annoying, alright? He's in like most of the movie and he was annoying. He was terrible in it. I didn't like him at all. And there was one segment where they bring Jenna Marbles in to explain some of the plot. There's a couple jokes she tries to pull that just don't work either. The thing is, the jokes don't work if it's not told by Ian and Anthony. There are a couple jokes that they tell that don't work, but the majority of the ones that they do tell do work. But then there's the supporting characters, like Harley Morenstein, as I mentioned, that joke worked. Markiplier's in it for a bit, that joke worked. But then you got the other supporting characters that don't tell good jokes either. And that's really where this movie falls, is that it's not as funny as it should be. I think if Ian and Anthony wrote the entire script for this movie, that maybe it could have been a lot better. Maybe if they directed it, it could have been a lot better. But this movie just Can you just tell I'm really upset by this movie? I'm not angry at all, I'm just disappointed. And there's several times where they're on YouTube and on the internet and they just bring in the most fake editing, like just "you've been flagged" message pops up and it's like the lamest editing that you could do. It's like, these guys have been on YouTube. Why did they allow this to happen? Like, you make a living off of the internet, yet you let the people who actually made the movie just put in these lame internet effects that don't work at all. Like, it looks terrible. I know this movie wasn't really on a big budget, and I like that too. There's one scene where you can clearly tell that there's a guy in a bear costume just pretending to eat someone. And there's even times when you can just see that there are two dummy Ian and Anthony's being thrown down from a high place. And that stuff kind of threw me back to the original Smosh, because I really like that aspect too. Anyone remember when they went to find Bigfoot and they found Bigfoot and it's clearly Bigfoot in a costume, and they just throw Bigfoot, like the costume with the dummy inside, off a hill? Like, do anyone remember that video? I've cried laughing at that more times than I can count. And when they kind of do throwbacks to original Smosh videos, I'm enjoying myself at the movie. This is where the movie shines, but it's everything else they try to do that doesn't work. This other thing that doesn't work, Ian is in love with this butt massage girl on the internet, and that doesn't work out either. And Anthony, the girl that he's after, the one that he wants to date and marry and stuff, I don't feel their chemistry either. I think maybe if this was just a straightforward Ian and Anthony movie, just on doing anything at all, that it would have been a lot better, but they throw in these romances, they throw in Steve YouTube, and just... So guys, I liked Ian and Anthony's chemistry. A lot of the jokes they pulled off worked, and there are a couple side characters that told good jokes too, and the plot sounds like a Smosh movie, and for the most part they pull off the plot really well. It's just the jokes they try to pull off in there, and the annoying characters that they have, and the romance chemistry that should have been there that wasn't, and just overall just not being that great of a movie. By the time this movie was over, I was like, oh really? That's it? Oh, alright. Bye. So I'm gonna give Smosh the movie a C-. I don't directly hate this movie. I'm not gonna burn it alive or anything like that. I'm just really disappointed by it. I think they could have pulled off a lot more with their humor. And for the most part, Ian and Anthony did have good humor, but it's everyone else that just kind of fell flat for me. But if you saw Smosh the movie, leave in the comments below what you thought of it. I know a lot of Smosh fans are probably going to attack me right now, saying that this movie was the best movie they've ever seen. And if you think it is, that's fine. It's just me being a fan for a long time. I was just really disappointed. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.